And they're doing that kind of like that quote, like Obama quote, "We are to blame, not Islamic terrorism for massacre."
Well, this is why, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, his statement like that is going to ruin it for Hillary because he already endorsed her. And she's running on a continuation of Obama because nobody likes her, right?
Right.
So she's hoping to ride his coattails to the election. She's going to be like, well, I know you can't have Obama again, but if you vote for me, it's like you're going to have another term of Obama.
Right. And so
that's her strategy.
Right. No, it's insanity. So Obama also said, we have no definitive assessment on the motive. We know he was a person filled with hate.
So let's talk about this.
Let's talk about the hate.
I want to talk about why we know it is Islamic motivated terrorism.
He called 911 just before he did this shooting.
Right.
And pledged his allegiance to ISIS. He called 911. Yeah.
Okay.
Omar called 911 and said, yeah, yo, I'm down with ISIS, and here's how we roll.
And also, ISIS overseas was celebrating very early.
Oh, immediately.
How did they get the news so fast? Because they were involved.
Oh, sure.
Right.
I'm sure they were involved with money, with weapons, cash, whatever they could provide for him. Oh, and you're listening to Smith Radio. Went a little long on that segment. If you want to be a part of the show, you can call in 513-888-1538 every Sunday evening, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can follow us on Facebook.com/Smith Radio. That's SMYTH Radio. Follow us on Twitter @Smith Radio. And during the week, if you want to listen to the past shows, you didn't catch us on Sunday Night Live, you can always find every single one of our shows for the last 3 years on iHeart.smithradio.com. Made a short, quick link for you so you can roll.
Yeah, I like it because when you go to iHeart, it will play our most recent episode. And if you click on the forward button, you go backwards in time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So you
Great.
click forward, and it takes you to the previous one before that, forward before that, and then so you can do that. If you want to actually search all of our different shows that we've done over the years, you can go to the Spreaker app.
Right.
And when you find us, search for Smith Radio, type it in 2 different words, SMYTH Radio, 2 different words, and it should show up. And there will be an entire catalog of all of our awesome shows. So we're talking about the Orlando mass shooting. Okay, the connection with Islamic terrorism. Okay,
correct.
They're trying to say, well, we're not sure yet. All right, his father has said, oh, this is not religion related.
No, can't possibly be.
But we know it is. Because there's a link that must be established between being upset that 2 gay people would do a public display of affection in front of him and him killing 50 people.
Well, because ISIS throws gay men in Europe and in the Middle East if they find or think you're gay, kind of like a witch hunt.
Mm-hmm.
They'll take you to the highest building and throw you off.
Right. So let's just say we don't know.
And they say, if you fly, you're not gay.
Hmm?
And they throw you off. So if you fly, you're not gay.
Oh, you're doing that thing with the float. If you're not a witch, if you're a witch, you'll float. And if you don't float, if you sink to the bottom, that means you're not a witch.
You're innocent. That's right.
You're innocent, and then you drown.
Right. Well, that's the unfortunate part. I can't control that.
Anyway, so here's the connection. Let's say we don't know that he pledged allegiance to ISIS. Okay, let's say we don't know that. We know that the motivation was that he doesn't like gays. And he killed 50 people and injured 53 others for a total of 103 casualties. We need a patch cable. What is the connection between those 2 facts? And that is, like, what? Look, there's a lot of people. I will openly admit that there's a lot of Christians that are disgusted with homosexuals, not because of anything other than what they're taught in religion.
Correct.
And there's other people that just don't like it because they're not gay themselves and whatever, it disgusts them.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with matter of fact, I sat down with my children this morning at breakfast, and we talked about this, and I informed my young daughters at 8 and 6 that there are people that do things, that they sin or they do bad things, but that's not, I can't control that. That's on them. They're going to do something that I wouldn't do or I disapprove of, but that doesn't mean that me as a Christian, I'm going to take the punishment out on them and start murdering them.
Yeah, it's not your job.
A Christian religion does not promote that at all.
You don't see mass killings anywhere in America of Christians killing gay people or atheists or Jews. When this guy is murdering gay people because he saw a PDA and it just so happens that he is in fact Muslim.
Correct. Right. And he's a practicing Muslim. He's not like sometimes people will be like, yeah, I went to church. I'm a Christian. Well, when's the last time you went to church? Maybe about 20 years.
I'm a Catholic. I eat fish
on Friday during Lent.
4 times a year. 4 Fridays a year.
Hey, I go to church on Christmas. I'm not talking about that. This dude went to his Islamic mosque for 13 years religiously.
And so flat out, it is patently obvious that this was motivated by the Islamic religion.
Right.
Or his belief in it.
Oh, check this out. I just got this from Sam.
By the way, this is an interesting show. This is so breaking and so big that a lot of times we have to...
we got to step up.
We're doing literally show prep while we're going because of the fact that
we were doing this all day long, but
right.
Sam tipped me off on the capacity of the club, and they're saying... Sam said somewhere around 400. The news media is saying over 300. I pulled up Fort Worth Star-Telegram. They're saying that on a high-capacity night like Saturday, this club can hold up to 800 people.
Yeah, so it's a decent size.
And
club.
I've been in clubs like in Europe. They have these, they call them discotheques, they're clubs, and there'll be 4 or 5 different rooms. Huge.
Sometimes different levels.
Right, huge rooms, and it's like a maze to go through all of it. And there could be hundreds of kids and people. Like one room might be for this type of music, another room is playing Michael Jackson music, and another room is... So there's different flavors, and people just walk through them. Didn't we have something like that in Cincinnati at one time?
Probably.
LA's got a lot of those clubs like that.
You told me... I feel like Cincinnati didn't.
Maybe I'm thinking of LA. I'm thinking of LA.
Oh, I know you've told me about LA. You've told me about how that... But we've gone to other cities and have that. But it's interesting. That's really not huge, though. It may be the biggest. Well, the reason I think that is because when I went to go see Prince, that was not a concert venue. That was literally a dance club.
That's insane.
But it held like 3,000 people.
Okay. Oh.
Maybe 2,000.
Okay.
It was a lot. I mean, definitely more than 1,000.
Right.
It was a big venue. Remember Charlie Murphy talked about it in that sound clip we saw. Didn't he say about 2,000 people or so?
Yes.
That's the club.
Oh,
that was the exact club. Yeah.
It's the same club that Charlie Murphy was cracking on. Said
yes.
Said Prince looked at him and said,
Pff. "Yeah." Right. No, the way when he described it. First of all, it's a club at Rio in Las Vegas, and he described it as circular, and it's not that big, but it holds about. What do you say, like 2,000 people or so?
Correct.
It's a club, but it's way bigger than 800 capacity. When you say that Pulse Club in Orlando is 800 capacity, it's kind of surprising that that's the biggest club on the
East Coast. You got to understand, though, in America with millennials, and I've read a lot of articles that have come out, they're starting to trend to smaller venues versus the kids in the 90s and the kids that graduated in 2000. It seemed to go from in the 80s, it was like your local tavern, your local bar, and then it started to ramp up with the grunge era and all the music in the 90s where you got these larger and larger venues, and they just got huge.
Like Bogart's, would you consider that a dance club, or would you consider that like a concert venue?
It's a concert venue.
Okay.
They pride themselves on it because when you're in there, it's a big giant like a gymnasium.
Big. It's big,
right?
Yeah.
Like a gymnasium at your school, and up front is the band, and that's all it is. These other clubs, if you will, you might have a live band, but usually you've got a DJ. And with technology coming as it came out through the 90s, you didn't need actual LPs. You didn't need a record to scratch. You know, you actually had digital. You could make digital sounds with the. You had one of them, didn't you?
Yeah, like it's like having vinyl, but whoa.
So.
Oops, sorry about that. Oh my goodness.
We got some Mr. Producer.
I don't know what's going on.
You need to put that thing on vibrate. So now we're talking 2010, 2012, 2013. It's starting to trend down to where it's going back down to where people want to be in a smaller venue when they have drinks, socializing, being around their friends, and that's basically what a club is. However, I would imagine a club that holds that many people on the East Coast is probably one of the largest ones. So, I mean, and Florida is known for that type of atmosphere, at least for us up here in Ohio and Cincinnati. When spring break hits, where does everybody go? They go to Daytona Beach, Florida. They go down to Orlando. They go down Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what you do. I mean, some people go to Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, but you hear people going to Florida.
Yeah, the problem with Myrtle Beach is it stays pretty cold until you get deep into summer.
Oh, wow. Well, that makes complete sense.
You can't go. If you go to Myrtle Beach on spring break, which, by the way, I made that mistake, it could be pretty cold. And you certainly don't get in the ocean. Yeah, so that's probably a little different for Florida. But, yeah, so obviously this was a Islamic-motivated terrorist attack, so don't let the liberals try to fake you on that. This is probably what does this mean for the election cycle?
Okay. I'm going to say, without a shadow of a doubt, the American people are sick and tired of this weenie of a president who's he's pathetic and he's spineless. He's completely negligent, but he's spineless. Even when he talks as if he's just a spineless, weak, hey, we made him mad. We got to stop making people mad, so mad all the time. That now all of a sudden it's come full circle to where you've got people in America so upset with the doing of nothing. And when I say doing, it's not a do something. We don't need a do something president. We need a president who's just going to set policy and make things happen and protect the American people. Obama claims he's going to do something and he never does it, or he blames the American people for their sentiments. The American people, you guys are just a bunch of, gun-toting Bible thumpers, rednecks. If you just changed your ways and embraced Islam.
How about this?
Just let it
what
come
do you
to
think
town.
of this, Brian? I feel like Obama ran 8 years ago on us being attacked by Islam over and over and over again, 9/11, all this stuff, because of the way we treat Muslims. And so if you elect him back in 2008, that he's going to change that by being nice to him from here on out.
Oh, and it was so...
And I think people are going to remember that, or I hope they do. I hope they remember that was kind of the strategy of his to take care of Islamic terror against America. And was that a success?
His is... No. No, absolutely not.
You're listening to Brian and Carrie on Smith Radio. You can always go